the conversation went on in my mind, and wherever you are, it was a female's voice. I can't, verbalize in the same form that was going in my mind, even if it was out loud, because I heard you in my mind. It was a dialogue. This is a monologue, and I'm not the one to say, the way I was saying it was a form of a question, but it was a rhetorical meaning. Do people actually, when you hear other people relay message in your mind, and can you speak out loud like it's a conversation? For me, it's difficult. So right now I'm talking, also I'm hearing my voice. It's hard to resonate sound of other people mentally communicating with me and actually have a conversation. This is why my YouTube videos are a certain way. In my mind, when we communicate, are a different way. There's a monologue. I can't do that. But what it really was about, it was about the sentimental aspect of we'll just say, sympathy-based humanity, or any kind of sentient meaning feeling, any kind of emotional, physical attributes, especially emotional, because this story, this video taking me back to the psychiatric unit. I think it was the fourth time I stayed in there, not the fifth. You know, it was in Elizabeth, Trinitas. And what happened was, no, I mean, people were sitting in the corridor in the hallway. I like the word corridor, never mind. And I sat down, and yeah, the conversation just wasn't going when I tried to talk about it. And I guess I got to the point where it's like, this individual saying, somebody reminded me, whoever you were, it was a female, I guess. She reminded me. It's like I'm talking directly to her or in another form of person, but this individual did not want to discuss how he just, doesn't, he doesn't smoke. He was saying supposedly he used to smoke weed like a hog. That's how the individual interpreted it. He used to smoke a lot of weed. Now I guess he doesn't smoke as much. And I drink alcohol, and I used to drink a lot, and I don't drink as much. But I'm trying to just get rid of that in my life, you know. Also, I think I was trying to say, even then, I would say now, how to heal, how to protect your body. Just even you smoke or you drink every once in a while, you recover faster, you be stronger. You have a better withdrawals. And people withdrawals, it's a detoxification. We all go through it, like a hangover. You won't be as hurt, you won't be as groggy. This, that, and the other thing. I'm pretty sure I don't know if I mentioned lemon and ginger. That's one of the good things in life. But, there's some individuals that just don't even want to hear that stuff. And also, uh, it's the way I actually communicate. And I was thinking about something else, not about just those individuals in the hallway. But a lot of times in life, like I just say, people just focus on certain kind of things and that person, situation, this and that thing. I kind of, look at things from like a general or broader view. I don't really want to talk specifically about that individual, that individual. Sometimes I do, but it takes me to a place where I'm talking about a certain person, and even though they were in the wrong, it's really not going to solve anything unless you talk about that person's a failure of character or poor character, and how you should stay away from those individuals. Then I understand it, even though it's still in a negative sense. But at least it's better than focus on certain situations. And that's how I remember that. A lot of times, people just don't want to listen to what I have to say. And also, I was going through my memory bank, and yeah, those three people happen to be black people, but they had sympathy. Especially the first person I met in 2021. He was in a hospital emergency room, and he was sitting on a hospital bed, and I went in there. I had swollen feet, and I had carpal tunnel. Except I don't know if I went there for carpal tunnel or I went there to get checked out. I was in Brooklyn, New York. It was I used to call it a surname. It slipped my mind. But anyway, it was a hospital, and he was sitting there, and we just had a conversation about his relatives just really had no like a compassion or sympathy, and he just said, you got to cut those people out, and then they wouldn't even be here. They wouldn't even take care of you. They wouldn't care about you. I don't know if he mentioned that if he had success or money, something like that, and it was just like, yeah, well, you're related to people, and it's kind of disheartening. You would think, like, even like, the cousins you grew up with. We have history together. How come we're not just, how come we have no sympathy towards me or something like that? I mean, I did, but it's for them. But now, just cut them out of my life. They have no compassion. They want bad things from me. And the third one, well, there was two multiple. I forgot, but that was like the main guy. There was another guy actually. He happened to be on the subway actually, and he didn't speak about that. he spoke about kind of that how people just will like try to incarcerate you or something or use the police. How people are just menacing. There was a white person too. It was all those three of those people actually were in Brooklyn. I don't know if the second one was in Manhattan, but it was in New York nonetheless. But the third one, he didn't talk so much about sympathy. It was like one of the first times I talked to somebody. He was a religious person. He went to a church not too far where I had my car parked, and I lived in there for like 2 or 2 months. And he actually, that was one of the first people I talked about. Actually, one of the first people I talked to. I actually made a video about him probably as well. But it's not even that. And he just said how like inverted racism, if you want to call it like that, which I understood. I saw a lot of times, and a lot of liberals or Democrats actually they use it. People call it the race card, but it's really different than that. Actually, they're the ones that are narrow-minded, and they play this, a fake morality of racism and color. And you should watch out for this, and this isn't that. And you shouldn't do this. One term is culture appropriation, which really it's beyond absurd. You know, I'm not gonna focus on people just like how they dress. Maybe they're like, that culture resonates to them and they like it. They don't mean to be like, demeaning the culture or people that are majority sustaining the culture. You know, if you pick up the Polish language and you like to read Polish books or recite Polish, but I'm not gonna say it's culture appropriation. It doesn't bother me. Actually, it's a good thing. You partake in something that belongs to a certain culture, or and you actually take you're intrigued by it and take it in your life. So that's one aspect of it. And also, and I talked about with that, but how it does more damage, and it could delude your mind. Delude your mind. Also, it creates a lot of tension. It disrupts communities. In reality, I really just didn't see that many people as being racist or bigoted. Actually, really not. A lot of people were different, but we have certain common grounds. Really, what that is, and the whole liberal, and now people use the whole woke. They use that term. I don't like that term. I really don't. It comes, like I said, it comes the 40s actually, 2 decades before the civil rights movement in the United States of America, and it meant to be awake or be woke about what's going on as far as people that are having rights, civil rights, uh, bigotry, racism. I mean, I could go on and on. And to attribute that word to what other people are doing, they're doing not just completely opposite, but they're inciting a lot of well, just breaking up communities. That's really what they're doing. And yeah, I don't subscribe to liberals, so that individual understood that too. That individual understood that too. And then we were two white people, and it's like even if it was a black, like okay, we could be anybody. It's just about, I think it's about just wisdom actually. Also, not being a follower of the media or if you call it social engineering, because I think there's something great at play here. The people that push this agenda, it's like like I said, they want to create tension and they're looking for conflict. Actually, it's actually very sinister what it is. They're not of peace. They're not. And I could say, I'm thinking about the Young Turks actually, because a lot of times they show their narrow-mindedness actually, and they try to be like good people on the side of let's just say color skin people, but they're really not. They're really not. Actually, they're actually very much bigoted. They create more damage than good, and they're just one example of the liberal propaganda machine. What they are.